Women face a different challenge sometimes. I have had several men try to take responsibility for my career, as in like early on clients. Oh, I hired you, so you're where you are because of me. Absolutely not, sir. I have been this way my whole life. You either have it or you don't when it comes to entrepreneurship, and how hard you want to hustle to get where you want to go in life, wherever that direction is, really.
Hi, Kate. Welcome to Morning Waltz podcast. I want to know about you and how Philly PR Girl came to be.
Yeah. Philly PR Girl came to be is I think that I was always Philly PR Girl without even knowing it. I was that person in high school that threw parties, had events. I volunteered a lot. I did some charity walks. I was always out there networking, meeting new people. And then I went to college. I volunteered a lot there. I joined a lot of clubs. I was a business major. I did not know, like a lot of people, I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. In fact, I had never even taken a PR class. More on that later. So I just honestly, I think that I've always been a people person, and I knew this path was for me. So after college, I had a lot of jobs. I had a lot of internships. I worked at a music venue, made some of my best friends there. I worked at a radio station, made some of my best friends there. You're seeing a pattern here. And then, after that, I went into travel and nonprofit management. I managed nonprofits and planned conferences, and I traveled a lot, and I was sort of burnt out. And that's how Philly PR Girl became to be. I started a blog, and I did not know at the time I was starting a PR agency. I thought it was a fun, creative outlet. I needed it. And that's sort of how it all came to be.
And so it started as a blog and it was all online. How has it evolved from where it started as a blog to where it is today? What does it look like today?
Great question. Now we're a full-blown PR agency. Yes, we're located here in Philadelphia, in the city that I love, but we have clients nationwide. We work with clients in Chicago, Baltimore, Boston, really all across the United States. Have a full team. We have PR side of, obviously, that is our main service that we offer here, but we do a lot of digital media and social media. I have a very talented team on the digital side, and a lot of event planning. And then obviously in this day and age, content creation and influencer marketing is a huge part of PR. So because I came from the blog side, and I always called like the bloggers back in the day were like the OG influencers. So I really understand content creation and influencer side. So we do a lot of that for our clients, and our clients are really in the need of exposure, and the influencers and content creators help out extremely a lot there.
It sounds like you have to not just be somebody who's a connector of people, but also a storyteller and somebody who's always kind of in the know. If you can talk a little bit about what all of the skills that are required, what you think some of the most important things are that sets you up and ultimately your clients up for success.
Yes. So I touched a little bit on the fact that you have to be a good people person, going out there, networking on behalf of your clients, going to events, putting yourself out there. Don't get me wrong. There are times that I want to sit on my couch and binge and show. Like, I want to be home too. But I know, and I've done this for years, that going out to events will help my business and will help my networking and my connections. So that's definitely part of being a good publicist. The other part is writing and creative storytelling, like you mentioned. There's a reason a lot of journalists go into PR and a lot of publicists go into media. Writing is a key component I was an English major before I was a business major. I always loved to write. I didn't really necessarily know that it would take me in this direction. At the time, a million years ago when I was in college, I didn't know that the writing would be a huge part of PR. What's crazy is now, I haven't done it in a little bit just because we've been so busy at Philly PR Girl, but I'm an adjunct professor at Temple and I love it. And I love teaching. And I always tell the students, writing is huge. Like, do you like to write? Because in PR, there's pitches, there's media alerts, there's press releases, there's newsletters. It's not just the stuff you see on Instagram going out to parties and having fun and wearing fabulous outfits. It's not just that component. There is a very, very creative side and a writing side to being a publicist.
It's that there's so much back end work that goes into what you see on Instagram and TikTok that makes it look as pretty. It's not as flawless.
No, no, it's not.
But as a Temple graduate myself and a journalism major and graduate there, I'm curious about the minds of today and the students that you teach and what they're facing as they're about to enter the workforce. What does that look like? And what do you tell your students?
Well, first of all, how long do you have? Because, oh my God. So students of today, it's been hard for them, right? Like they just went through a pandemic and a lot of even like our younger interns have never worked in an office before. I interview a lot of people and a lot of them don't want to come into an office still. They are looking for hybrid work. They're looking for remote work. And that's okay if that's for you. Us at Philly PR Girl as a firm, we work very collaboratively. We work as a team on a lot of projects. So we've been back in the office for a while. 4 days a week, we're in the office. And what I tell the students of today is like getting office experience is just as important as learning the craft of PR or digital media or influencer marketing management. You'll learn a lot being in any office. I have had several people that don't feel comfortable taking a phone call in front of other people. I have taught people where to place a stamp on an envelope. So things like that you think, as you have been, I'm sure, in many different work environments. I think it's extremely important for people to have that in-office experience. Now, with that said, if you do an internship and it turns out PR or working in office is not for you, that is okay. But at least you did the internship and you know what's for you, what's not. I think just growing as a person and getting out there and trying new things and new experiences is extremely important. I had an intern recently that left and she told us one of the best things I've ever heard is that her mother has told her that there has been a change in her personality, as in she's way more confident as an individual. She's seen her almost like grow up in a way. And I just sat there, I was like, that's amazing. And it turns out that individual does not want to do PR. That's okay. That is okay. You've learned what you now want to do and you've become a better and more confident individual. And that's great. That's the only thing that I can tell the students is that go out and try new experiences and new things.
And that's so important. I mean, it's like you said, that's what internships are all about. It's figuring out what's going to work, what's right and what's not. I mean, it gives you that exposure and that experience, but it's not for nothing. Every experience gives you something. And what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, I always say.
That's very true.
What are some of your favorite parts about now being a professor and also being a business owner with a team?
Yeah. Seeing people grow. I've always loved to mentor, I think, and teach people. I said that forever before the pandemic. I said, one day I'll go and teach. And then I sat there in 2020, I was like, what am I waiting for? So I went and became an adjunct and I absolutely love it. I want to do more of it in the next year, 100%. I need to dedicate myself a little bit more to that. But It's on my bucket list. But seeing my team grow and seeing them teach is amazing. I'll give a quick little shout out to Lena, who's been with me for 4 years, and she's learned so much, but also I love hearing her. I'll sometimes be in my office and listen to her teach other people, and I geek out about it. I'm like, yes, because she's so good at what she does. And now she is now passing on her skills and her knowledge. So just watching my team grow and become better individuals and better people and great at their craft. I love it.
It's a really cool thing. I've had the opportunity to manage people in my career, and it's been to see people evolve and grow and also be able to flex their own leadership is really cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about you building this brand and this powerhouse here in Philadelphia. What has that been like as a woman building this in a city like Philadelphia?
I think it's hard. Definitely as a woman, it's harder. And I say that honestly, like I say that with respect for anyone that can go on and do their own business, because it is not easy. But women face a different challenge sometimes. I have had several men try to take responsibility for my career, as in like early on clients. Oh, I hired you, so you're where you are because of me. Absolutely not, sir. I have been this way my whole life. I have had several jobs my whole life. You either have it or you don't when it comes to entrepreneurship, and how hard you want to hustle to get where you want to go in life, wherever that direction is, really. I've learned to speak up for myself. I've learned to really just speak up for my team too. I think that like if clients are not respecting us in a way that we deserve, I will speak up for them as well. And I think that that's any good leader should also lead by example. I'm not too good to do anything. I have been known to sweep the floor before an event. I don't care, and you will hear me say that, and you will see me, walk the walk, as they say. So any business leader will have their stories and been through struggles, especially I'm 13 years into it. This past December has been 13 years. So I have a lot of stories.
What I want to know about the stories that have been the moments of, oh my God, what am I doing? And then the stories of what are the ones that are like, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. The ones that are like, I get up every day because this is what I love to do. And those moments of people who chatter that might have or especially early on where there were maybe naysayers it seems like you've always been somebody who's like knows exactly what you want and you're going to be successful at it and you're going to see things through. So did you ever have those moments of, what the hell am I doing?
Oh, yes. Also, yes, I've always, slight correction. I've always known what I wanted, but I did not know I'd be successful at it. I had hoped I would be successful, Yeah, I think early on, my mom was one of those people that I would complain to and be like, oh my God, can't believe this. And I would say probably over the last couple of years, it's like a broken record. Almost before every event, I call her, I'm stressed, I complain, and she goes, okay, anything else? Because this event's going to be great. I know you have it. And I'm like, oh, we've had this conversation before? She's like, yeah, 1,000,000 times. I'm like, okay. And now the same thing with my husband. I got married this past summer. He's already used to it. All right, let me release all the stress and my worries, my internal worries. And then they're like, okay, you got it, right? I'm like, oh yeah. So one of those things where I'm confident, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without worry or struggles or losing a venue 24 hours before an event. it happens, right? And that brings on stress. And I think it's trusting yourself and trusting your team to get through those challenges that has helped me throughout the years. I definitely have learned a lot through the pandemic and the last, 5-6 years, just about time management and learning how to just be a better business owner when it comes to changes, because things are going to happen, and especially in events and event planning, things are going to happen. One of the moments that I love most about an event, especially the charity events and the nonprofit events that we work on, is standing there at the end of the night, whether it's a gala or a fundraiser, and just standing there and being like, wow, we had a part of this, and we should take a minute to like be proud of that. And I try to say that to my team too, like be proud of what you did, whether it's a press hit or running a successful registration table or a red carpet, whatever that, be proud of the work that you're producing.
And congratulations on getting married and all of that and that side of your life. I want to know about how you do kind of shut off, unplug, how you do manage your stress and panic and that.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you've learned along the way?
I've gotten better at it. So I'm going to use this moment to congratulate myself, because during interviews like this, I would always say, I'm not good at it. Don't listen to me. Don't take my advice. But I have gotten better at it the last 2 years, I would say. For me, managing my stress could be as simple as taking a walk with my husband and my dog. It could be going to get a massage and facial and checking out for 2 hours, like check out mentally, stop, put your phone down, put your computer down. And I would say the third thing, that I try to do for myself is just travel and see the world, because that's personally what makes me happy. And during those times, yes, sometimes I will be working. Actually, most of the times I will be working when I'm traveling, but I'm not putting that aside. I'm still out there, de-stressing, as they say. But it's not easy for women to, I have been there. So whatever path you find that works best for you, stick with it.
Yeah. I think especially for women, I really resonated with what you were saying with how there have been men as you've come up in this with your business and this career that you've built for yourself, that have tried to take credit for that. I mentioned offline that I started my career here in Philly in news, worked for a talk show, and I've always found myself, I've always wanted to tell people stories in this way. Yeah. And it's been interesting that people at 22 years old, right out of college, I had a lot of people say things, men specifically in the news market here, that I would never be able to do certain things because of whether it be appearance or whatever. And I think that your takeaways of pushing through and owning it and knowing that, you can't let the outside noise stop you from doing what you want to do. So
there's a reason they say like event planning, PR, and I think media is right up there, are like the top 10 most stressful jobs. They're in that list. And we're like, what? It is? Because it's also really fun and enjoyable, but it is also very stressful. So I think that like, even by, I would say, you doing the show and this podcast is your creative outlet, but that doesn't mean it's all fun and easy. You put a lot of time into it, and energy, but you're able to use your creative side. So kudos.
Yeah. I want to understand how looking back at your younger self, how you think that Philly PR Girl has maybe changed you, what you would what kind of that earlier version in your career, what you would feel compassion towards, or you would give advice to?
Wow. I'm still like, listen, I have talked to you about confidence a lot, because it's something that I feel like I was sort of born with, but I'm still also very humble in a way and like thankful and appreciative. Like whenever someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, I want to work for you one day," or "Oh my God, I follow you on Instagram. I saw that you did this. That's amazing." I cannot believe it to this day. My team and I have really created something that I feel very strongly is special and is only going to grow from here. And I say with all due respect, my team and I, because it has not just been me for 13 years. You know, I've always had people that have been along, you know, this journey with me. What I would say to my younger self is, listen, it's going to take time. I didn't start Philly PR Girl until I was in my 30s. A lot of successful business owners will find their way later on in life. So, you know, when you see those memes like so-and-so created this at the age of 50 and, you know, all those, I feel strongly in that. Like people have different chapters in their life, right? Like you can work in media and then you can go be a publicist for 20 years. And then maybe you decide to go back to media. That's okay. Just as long as you're doing what makes you happy.
I think that's the reminder too, especially for people who are coming out who feel like they have to have it all figured out as soon as they graduate college. And it's like, there's this, that age is a limitation and you can't do certain things after a certain age. I've lived many lives.
Yeah. And let me just say something to that, because you had asked about this earlier. Like when I started Philly PR Girl, people thought I was crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, not just men, clients taking hits at me like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah." People that have close in my life were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Don't get me wrong, they're my biggest supporters, but they were like, you have a great full-time job with healthcare. I'm like, I know. And a 401k. I'm like, I know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And if you're confident enough in your ability and you believe, that move is right for you, they'll support you. The people that are most important in your life will support you, as did my family for sure.
Yeah. May I dive into relationships a little bit with you and kind of how building a business and kind of always having to be on and out and networking. I'm a big believer in making sure that you have that community and that village in your corner. Mm-hmm. To your point of, if you're prepared to walk away from your cushy 401k health insurance that's going to support you and say, yeah, you can do this. How has running your own business just impacted that or shaped it, or with your relationships, personally, romantically, anything?
Well, I got married at 44, so there's that. You do the math. Yeah. But I think I just wasn't ready because the person didn't come along till 44, right? So I think that before him, I had my best friend. I had the people that, I'm closest with in life and my family. And they were definitely my tribe. Always supportive. Whether they're physically there or not, doesn't matter. I know they're supportive of me. And I think that the other piece of the puzzle is finding, especially as a woman, finding other women-owned businesses. A lot of the time when we started off, and we still do today, I support women-owned businesses a lot in their PR efforts, especially when they're launching their business, because I get it and I know how hard it is. But then you end up becoming friends and advise, they're your advisors, and we call each other late at night, like, so-and-so is happening, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's important to have people in your life that are not your best friend or your mom, because they're like in the trenches with you and they're struggling and they're seeing certain things in the industry or in the city. So that to me has been invaluable. The other women-owned business owners and founders of companies that I've worked with along the way, all of them have shaped me in some way, shape, or form.
To have people who understand what that looks like day in and day out. I also see those memes on Instagram and TikTok where it's, the place you want to be in your life, you also want to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing that or who
yeah. Oh yeah.
What, you give me hope. I'm 41 and I'm single as, I don't even know.
The stories I do. Okay. I've been on a lot of first dates. A lot.
Yeah. Oh, Philly is fun for that. Well, I want to pivot back to your clients and how you kind of what your playbook looks like, and keeping people authentic and sharing stories. In our first take of this, you were sharing a story about a piece that was produced on ABC, and how it brought tears to your eyes. I would love to know about the Philly Girl PR playbook on like being authentic and what it takes to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, PR is, again, it's one of the most top 10 stressful jobs because it's not easy. There's a lot of follow-up emails, and it's not for the faint of heart, meaning if you just send one email to producer, that doesn't mean they're going to do a story about your client. I always tell my team, don't take it personally if they don't answer you. They get hundreds of emails a day. But you better do your job and follow up, right? So when you do follow up and you do land a really amazing piece, like we just got for a nonprofit client of ours that was so excellently produced and the story was amazing, you got to celebrate those wins. I'm always telling my team, like, be proud of this. Like, if this was an ad placed on TV, do you know how much that will cost? A lot of money. A lot of money. So be proud of the work that you helped get for no matter what the client is, whether it's a nonprofit or not. Yes, we happen to work with a lot of nonprofits, a lot of women-owned businesses, and a lot of hugely successful businesses, from, doing professional sports, like working alongside the Philadelphia Union, to opening Marsha's, which is doing the PR and the digital of Marsha's, which is the first women's sports bar in Philadelphia, something that my team is very proud of. And I'm very proud of them for working alongside that amazing woman business owner. I think that like we should just be proud of the work that we do, no matter what field you're in, right? Like, take pride in what you do. You worked really hard at it.
100%. And how do you move through it when there might be a hard season in business? And how do you champion the team for that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going through that right now. 2026 is it's exciting, but it's also scary because everyone's like, everyone's on the cusp of like, should we spend the money? Should we do this? Should we do that? So there's a lot of changes happening in a lot of different businesses, not just PR. There's, a lot of business owners will tell you the same thing. And I just read a great article in the Philadelphia Business Journal that like your healthcare bill went from this to that, right? Overnight. And whether you were prepared for it or not, you're like, okay, wait a minute. You gotta think about everything. So my team knows that, I've been in business for 13 years. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. And we're really, fortunate to have such an amazing client base, that, things might shift, and just kind of have to roll with the punches from time to time.
What have you seen as being some of the biggest changes since you started this blog 13 years ago?
13 years ago. Oh, wow. I think that the content creation and the influencer marketing side of our business is booming. It's very, very important to develop develop relationships with influencers. The work that they're putting into their content is amazing. I personally truly value everything that they're doing, and I talk to my clients about influencer marketing a lot. Back in the day, it was all about print and a strong TV placement. Don't get me wrong, that is still very important, but you should also work in influencer marketing into your overall marketing and PR strategy. And that's definitely the major change that I've seen in the PR world over the last 13 years. We're really fortunate to have great relationships with influencers nationwide and content creators nationwide. We do influencer marketing not only in Philadelphia, but we do influencer marketing in Scottsdale, Chicago, Boston, the list goes on. And I've seen the work that those creators are putting out there is helping to successfully launch many businesses and keep businesses afloat, quite frankly.
And to the opposite side of that, what do you think are some myths within your PR world that that you would want to debunk, that people think that, we talked a little bit about everything looking really beautiful, but then the execution and the lead up to all of that. But is there one thing that you would want to debunk?
Yeah, I have a friend that used to work at a TV station, and he would always make fun of me. I'd show up at 6 a.m. for a TV hit, with my coffee. And he's like, you PR girls are all the same. And we had this relationship, so I would let him say this to me, but your PR girls, you always show up with your coffee, running late, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him one day, I was like, do you know why that is? Because I was pitching till midnight last night, preparing my client for this hit, and acting as a therapist, a life coach, to my client who's freaking out to go on live TV right now. And he's like, yeah, I know, you're really good at what you do. I'm like, yeah, thanks. So if I show up at 6 a.m. with my coffee, that's why. So I would say it's more than just showing up to a TV station and being there to take videos. The work behind the scenes that no one sees, it's a lot. It can be a lot, right? Yes, they might see on Instagram us dressed up in an event, but do you know that we were there at 5 a.m. setting up for that event? It's one of those things where you say everything you see online is not real. In a way, it's true. Don't get me wrong. I love the fun side. I love going out to events and everything like that. But there are times where wow, this is stuff that people do not know that goes on behind the scenes,
It sounds like so much of what you do is a thankless job, and you don't.
I wouldn't say that. My clients are amazing, but I think it's just a lot of people just don't realize the work that goes into it. And I'm very honest. I'm a very open, honest person, probably too honest sometimes. And I will tell people this is not an easy career.
Yeah.
You have to love it.
Yeah.
I happen to be one of those people that love what I do.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, I'm curious as to what do you envision the next 13 years looking like?
Oh, what a good question. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll start with 2026. 2026, when I say we're ready to roll with the punches, that's what I mean. The ups, the downs, the good, the bad. And I'm ready for big things. So I'm taking chances already. I think I've had 3 powwows with my team already. You ready for it? We got this. We got 2026. They're probably enough, Kate, enough of this. But the city of Philadelphia has been preparing for 2026 for years, right? We honestly have the chance as business owners here in Philadelphia to do major things, whether it's working with teams that are coming in for the World Cup or the 250th anniversary of America. There's major things happening in our city. We're very, very fortunate I feel I'm very, very fortunate to live and work in this city for sure. But after 2026, the sky's the limit. And I mean that. I think this is going to be, in a way, a pivotal year for us and for a lot of business owners in general. Whether we're changing things up slightly, whether it's the services we offer, the locations we service, there's going to be changes, but I feel it in my bones in the best possible way.
When you know that you have that feeling and it's just like, this is good stuff, it's all going to be amazing.
For you too, though, like for you too, seriously, like what you're doing and helping women tell stories, helping people tell their stories and where they came from is important, but then also just getting out there to the world and meeting new people. And I'm so glad that we met and connected.
Yeah, likewise. And my last question for you is, where can people find you if people want to connect with you and follow along with what you're building next?
Yeah, phillyprgirl.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok, all the things. We have a parent company, KMPR, which is sometimes we use KMPR LLC on Instagram because that is the company that we use for our national clients. But the majority of things that we post and our updates are on the Philly PR Girl Instagram page. And I just thank you for this opportunity.
And I thank you. Thank you for being so gracious and so open and honest.
Yeah.
And this has been an amazing conversation, and I wish you continued success, and I will be following along your journey.